How's it going, YouTube? In today's video, I wanted to share some tips and tricks that have helped me, as a bigger guy, successfully concealed carry in the appendix inside the waistband position, while avoiding some of the discomfort and other obstacles typically faced by bigger people. If you're a bigger person and you want to concealed carry more effectively and efficiently, then stay tuned. Hopefully these tips and tricks can help you out. Thanks for watching. The first topic that I want to talk about is probably the most important for you to consider as a bigger person trying to concealed carry in the appendix inside the waistband position, and that is going to be your equipment. By equipment, I mean your holster, your firearm, your mag carriers, or any other accessories or auxiliary equipment that you might carry on an everyday basis. Primarily, the point that I want to impart is that it may take some experimentation and trial and error to find the equipment that works best for you. For me, I had to try several different appendix inside the waistband holsters before I found one that was effective, comfortable, and efficient for me, and allowed me to safely and quickly access and draw my pistol and put good rounds on target. I will leave a link to that specific holster in the description. However, the point is not necessarily that I recommend this specific holster, though I do, but the point is, don't be discouraged. If you can't run the coolest holster or the holster that your favorite YouTuber or Instagrammer runs, if it's just not working for you, it's not a big deal. Keep trying different products, keep shopping for products that fit your needs, and support those companies. It's important to keep in mind that as bigger people, most of the products on the market are not going to be designed to fit our body types. There are, in fact, specific holsters made for bigger people. However, I would warn against those, as a lot of times they tend to ride extremely low in the belt line and make it very hard to draw your pistol. In my opinion, the DeSantis Ulti-Tuck offers the most adjustability and the most comfort out of any of the appendix inside the waistband holsters that I've tried so far. Of course, it's up to you to figure out what works for you, and that pretty much sums up tip number one.
Ready? Stand by.
As a bigger person carrying in the concealed appendix inside the waistband position, it may be necessary for you, like it is for me, to use a slightly different approach to your draw and a slightly different technique for accomplishing a proper shooting grip as you draw your pistol. In order to accomplish this, rather than using the typical approach, which would have you establish your shooting grip as you draw your pistol from your holster or before it is drawn from the holster, by way of placing your hand on the handgun in such a way that the beaver tail of the handgun is already in the webbing of your hand between your thumb and your forefinger. Rather than doing that, what I'm going to do is place my thumb on the rear slide plate as if I were reholstering. My bottom three fingers, being my pinky, my ring finger, and my middle finger, are going to grip the pistol grip of the handgun, and my pointer finger is going to stay straight locked out and outside of the trigger guard for safety's sake. I'll use my bottom three fingers to pull the handgun up and out of the holster and away from my body and any clothing. Once the gun is clear, I can continue to wrap my thumb around the pistol grip and establish that proper shooting grip. Obviously, there's a big advantage in having your shooting grip established before you even extricate the gun from the holster. However, we're making it work, and we're doing the best that we can with the cards that we've got right now to develop a quick, safe, effective, efficient, and repeatable draw so that we can practice, train, and get the reps in so that we can get good rounds on target.
Load, 3 rounds into the right target. Shooter ready? Ready. Stand by.
While there are many downsides and drawbacks to being a larger person, especially in the context of self-defense shooting, there are some advantages if you know how to use them. For example, as a larger person, and the way that my clothes fit, and the way that my body is shaped, I can typically be more successful at concealing a weapon than perhaps a friend or somebody else that is smaller than me. In addition, I'm also able to very comfortably carry and conceal quite successfully a spare magazine that is a much greater capacity than friends of mine or other people that are smaller than me. Specifically, I carry a Glock 19 sized weapon. However, I load a 17 round magazine into the firearm, and I carry 21 round spare PMag. Now that's not to say that a smaller person can't successfully conceal those things or carry those things. I'm just saying that given my shape, size, and the way that my clothing fits, I'm able to have a much easier time at concealing it. Tip number 3 is essentially to remember that as we train and we practice for shooting, specifically in a self-defense context, what we're really doing is creating a lot of very small skills and habits that increase our chances of success or survival. So there's no reason that this shouldn't extend to our body types and the way that we use them, our clothing, and the way that we understand how our bodies, our clothing, and our equipment all work together to create a concealed carry system. Alright guys, just to summarize, we've talked about a few different considerations that you might need to make as a bigger person who's concealed carrying in the appendix inside the waistband position. These include equipment considerations, specifically the reminder that not everything that's on the market is going to be built for our body types, and you may have to try a few different things before you find a holster, mag carries, etc. that work good for you. We talked about some technique considerations, including the technique that I like to use to give myself a repeatable, efficient, effective, safe, and quick draw and establishment of a proper shooting grip, even though my body can get in the way of positioning my hands and my fingers, my thumb specifically, where I'd like it. Lastly, we talked about some advantages of being a bigger person when concealed carrying, and how it's important that we stay on the lookout for things that we can use to our advantage and exploit to increase our chances of survival or success, even if at face value these things might seem like a hindrance or a con or a disadvantage. While none of the information in this video is super groundbreaking, if you're a larger person like me, I hope that these considerations can help get the gears turning, so to speak, and aid you in building a more effective, efficient, a safer, quicker, and overall better concealed carry system. At any rate, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I urge you to comment any other tips, tricks, or considerations that you can add. Otherwise, until next time, thanks for watching.